Dada. Dada. Define Dada. The Romanian definition? The German definition? The French definition? No. Define Dada. Dada cannot be defined here as we know it. Dada is a statement which can only be expressed through art. It is the absence of conforming in structure. Dada, informal, nonsensical protest breaking from conform against the establishment, deconstruction, reconstruction, rebellion, maverick, coincidental, ideology, absurd, provocative, improvisational, to mock. Dada was formed as the result of World War I. Dada, a resistance to capitalism, the aristocrats, the bourgeois. Dada, to contradict the normal. Dada, to shock and offend. Dada, satirical and nonsensical. In 1916, a performance space was created in the rear of Cabaret Voltaire, a pub in Zurich, Switzerland, with Hugo Ball, the founder and inventor of the Dada movement, and his wife, Emmy Henning, Marcel Janko, Tristan Czar, Sophie Tauber, Hans Arp, Hans Richter, Richard Huelsenbeck.
The poem was written and first performed by Hugo Ball in Zurich in 1916. And it remains to this day a classic example of what Mr. Ball called sound poetry. Here's what it sounds like. A totally imaginary language invented by Mr. Ball. Kawani jolifanto blamba o fali hambla. Grossiga me pafla habla hormi gaga gorman. Hai globlo aikora sula huju. Holaka holala. An logobang, blagobang baso futaka. Ooh. Shampa uwalawasa. Olobo. Hechtada gorem esej zumbada. Wulubu susuba de uluwasa suba de tamba. Baumf. Kasagama. Baumf. It didn't make any sense, but it wasn't supposed to make any sense. But nevertheless, Mr. Ball's performance got a rousing ovation and turned out not to be a passing fancy, but a new art form, sound poetry.
The arts movement began. The movement and/or improvisations are anti-theater, a mockery of the traditional forms of theater, and to shock and offend the viewer. There is no logical plot or structure. Sorry, Aristotle, there will be no crisis or conflict or resolutions here. The spoken word with or without content. Lyrical? Possible, or maybe not. Comprehensive? Well, adaptive? Deconstructed, reconstructed, a number of scenes occurring at the same time without connection, without theme, without plot or ideas, or without connection of theme, plot, or ideas, a randomness of ideas. My spontaneous interpretation of Dada. Look at me here. Watch me. Today or not today? Today or not today? That is the question. The question is... The Cabaret Voltaire closed in 1918, 2 years since its inception. The movement moves on. Dada spreads throughout the world, becoming the general term and/or relatable term with the movement as a whole, aside from avant-garde. Dada in Berlin, Germany went literally, with Raoul Hausmann, Johann Bader, George Gross, and John Hartsfield, just to name a few. Raoul Hausmann, an artist, writer, and essential key figure in Berlin's revitalization of the Dada movement, staged a propaganda evening with friend Johann Bader, and later co-founded the Aruda Club, which mimicked Cabaret Voltaire. Johann Bader was known for his argument for rights of free speech. Like Tristan Tzar, who assembled various words without reason, Johann Bader did the same with the printed word and photos. Both used the tool of the original Dada movement originating in Zurich. George Gross. His caricature drawings proved to anger the masses, politicians, and affiliate parties, provoking fear and anger. The movement that mocked traditional forms of theater would now mock literature and the living theater. John Hartfield. Like Tristan Tzar and Johann Bader, Hartfield used the deconstruction method of the printed word and photos to express his dissent for the Nazi regime. In 1937, Adolf Hitler and Adolf Ziegler visited an exhibition of the Dada artists in Berlin. The fascist regime would call the movement a degenerate art exhibition and use other unflattering comments. Dada in New York, the United States of America. Francis Picabia, Man Ray, and Marcel Duchamp were making their mark in regards to Dada respectively in New York City. Francis Picabia, considered the first of the New York Dadaists, according to Hans Richter, Picabia became drawn to the United States, New York specifically, from France. Pleased with the liberation and freedom of Americans, he gave up Cubist style completely and began to produce the images of satiric, machine-like contrivances that are his chief contribution to Dadaism. Man Ray, the most prominent of all American Dadaists, considered inspirational, innovative, and motivating of other artists in a number of different mediums, Ray had become the most prominent native artist among New York Dadaists. Ray's adaptability and style is said to be a merger of mediums, his paintings, sculptures, and photographs. Marcel Duchamp. Considered one of the most influential artists of the 20th century, he produced Nude Descending a Staircase, which was exhibited at the famous Armory Show in 1913. His work became well known and controversial across New York. Duchamp maintained very close connections with both Marcel and Richter as he moved from Cubism to the Dada movement with his ready-made piece entitled Fountain. There is evidence of the Dada movement and its influences. It's inspirational. Look around you. Remember, Dada is an art form created to protest and to oppose the normal, an opposition, to offend, to anger, the destruction of the conventional, and the construction of something new and thought-provoking. Rebel.